What if somebody told you that happiness was impossible? That there was no such thing as happiness? You'd shake your head, you'd say, no way. You'd maybe even get upset with a person because you believe the exact opposite. You believe that not only is happiness possible, but that the whole point of life is happiness. That's what most of us believe, and most of us spend every waking moment pursuing happiness, doing things that we believe will make us happy. We raise families, we build careers, we fall in love, we go on vacation, we exercise, we lose weight. We do all of these things because we believe that they will make us happy. So we spend most of our lives chasing happiness. Yet the sad truth is that most of us are not happy. So now let me say from the outset that I believe that not only is happiness possible, but that happiness is absolutely essential to life. I'm going to share with you in this video how I wasted 30 years of my life being so unhappy a lot of the time. I'm also going to share how I finally started to understand, this was in my early 40s, I started to understand what happiness actually means and how I could achieve it right now. So hi, I'm Sarah. So many people I know are either deeply unhappy or at least unhappy a lot of the time. Yes, we all wake up and we put on our masks and we present a happy face to the world, and we all post photos on social media showing what an amazing life we're living. And yes, of course, we do have moments of happiness in our lives, otherwise life would be completely unbearable. These are fleeting moments. At our very core, so many of us are deeply unhappy with the state of our family relationships, our marriages, our careers, our financial situation, our health. I know that I wasted so many years of my life being unhappy and being restless, always looking to a point in the future where I thought happiness lay. When I look back now in my 20s and 30s, I realize how blessed I was. I had so many really great things going for me, yet I wasn't happy. I was always waiting for circumstances to change before I could finally be happy. There was always some niggly little aspect of my life that I felt was an obstacle to my happiness. Now, these obstacles changed over time. In my early 20s, the major obstacle I thought to my happiness was the fact that I was not in a relationship. I thought if I could just find a great man and have an amazing relationship, then I would finally be happy. Don't so many of us waste years chasing love from someone else, thinking that a great partner will make us happy? We invest this mythical partner with the power to give us happiness, when really, only you can give yourself happiness. As someone who wasted years chasing happiness in relationships, I can tell you categorically that if you are unhappy alone, you are going to be unhappy in a relationship. No relationship, however awesome, can make you happy. You have to make yourself happy. So this is probably a good time to welcome you to my channel. I post weekly videos on wellness, on personal growth. If this kind of information interests you, please consider subscribing. I am trying to grow my channel to 1,000 subscribers, so any support is appreciated. So back to relationships, I met an amazing man in my early 20s and I thought, hallelujah, I finally solved the problem that was holding me back from being happy. And yes, I was really happy for a while, but over time I became less happy because that initial euphoria that we all feel at the beginning of a relationship started to wear away. And this partner of mine, however great he was, he could not love me perfectly the way I wanted to be loved. What I didn't know back then is that nobody would ever be able to love me perfectly. I had to love myself perfectly. I had no idea how to love myself back then, so I kept looking outside of myself to find a partner, to find somebody else who could make me feel secure and who could love me the way I felt I needed to be loved. Invariably, I was always disappointed. So now I grew up without a father. For so many years, I craved the love and attention and support that I felt that I had missed out on by not having a father. And I think for so many years I looked to my partners in life to fill that void that I felt a father had left in my life. So I was looking for a partner to fill the holes that were in my core, holes that had developed during my childhood and through my early teens. And what it's taken me 30 years to learn is that no one can fill the holes that are in your core. Only you can fill the holes. So there I was in my early 20s, in a good relationship, but still unhappy. Especially became unhappy when I started to gain a bit of weight. So I had managed to get really thin when I was dating and before I met my partner. And don't so many of us do that. It sounds terrible, but really we put on a fake front. We lose weight, or we quit drinking, or we quit smoking before we meet a partner. And if I look back at myself now, I just would say to myself, oh, for heaven's sake, Sarah, just be yourself. You're gonna revert to self sooner or later. So just be yourself, be who you are. The real me back then was a little bit chubby, but I tried to put on a fake front and get thin. And then when I started to gain weight during my relationship, I started to be very unhappy about it. As an aside, I always had a troubling relationship with my body and with weight. I was always trying to get thinner. My body was so often the reason why I wasn't happy. I felt that my body and the fact that I was overweight was an obstacle to my happiness. And I wasted so many years of my life believing that if I could just quit eating so much, lose a bit of weight, then I'd be happy. And I didn't realize then that if I was unhappy overweight, I'd be unhappy thin. So the one story that really stands out in my mind is when I got married 15 years ago. As many brides do, I was obsessively trying to lose weight before my wedding. Now, if I was able to go back now to that time, I would just say, Sarah, enjoy this amazing, blessed time. Stop wasting energy on trying to change yourself. But I did. I got very caught up in this crazy hysteria. I was a bridezilla and I managed to get into my size 10 wedding dress. So I was thin. I really was thin. I was tiny, but I still didn't feel thin enough. So there I was, getting married to the man of my dreams, having a fantasy, beautiful, amazing, blessed wedding. And I was still unhappy because my body was bothering me. Isn't it sad how happiness has become this false goal that we feel like we constantly need to be pursuing and not experiencing right now? I think we've become so used to seeing happiness as perfection, as the perfect relationship, the perfect career, the perfect body. And this is a really dangerous place to be, because first of all, we are assuming that external things are going to make us happy, but also we're expecting those external things to be perfect. And that never happens. One of the most profound things I've learned in my life is that wherever you go, you take yourself with you. So now when you are fantasizing about your dream partner or your amazing new thin body, you assume that when you achieve that goal, you are going to be happy. But the thing is that you take yourself with you. So if you have low self-esteem and a sense of unworthiness to start with, you can have a great partner, you can have a thinner body, and you still are going to feel unhappy. The truth is that for a long time, happiness did not make sense to me. So happiness was something that was a huge issue in my life. I kept chasing happiness. I kept feeling that everyone around me was a lot happier than I was. Happiness kept eluding me. In truth, I don't think I ever stopped for long enough to actually consider what it was that I was chasing. I don't think I ever really defined for myself what happiness is. Do you have a clear idea of what happiness is? If you went outside right now and found 5 people and asked them what happiness is, they would tell you things like family, love, health, financial security, which are all amazing goals and are all things that we deserve to have in our lives. But those are external things that will not make us happy. Happiness comes from inside. Happiness is a feeling. That is something that I have learned. Happiness is a feeling. And the way I now, at the age of 50, have defined happiness for myself is peace, gratitude, and joy. Accepting that happiness is a feeling and not a circumstance has changed my life. I'll explain why. As soon as you believe that happiness is a feeling, you take your power back, because you can't fully control the circumstances around you, but you can fully control your feelings. I'm going to share a story with you that at the start of my business, I ran a food business with my husband. So this was 12 years ago when we started our business. It was really tough financially a lot of the time. And I remember one month end, we had managed to scrape together enough money to pay our staff wages, but we had no money left over for our debit orders. So we realized on the last day of the month that we were going to have to let our debit orders bounce. Now this was horrifying for us. We were responsible people. We'd always met our financial obligations, but this month there was just no way we could cover our debit orders. And now for somebody who grew up without lots of money, with a sense of insecurity around money. This was a massive challenge for me. The truth is that I panicked and I was almost hyperventilating from the anxiety. I was driving home that night after work and I think I just was all worried out. I just had no more stress left. So it was just a strange feeling where I just kind of surrendered. I just thought, okay, I can't change the situation. The debit orders are going to bounce. Those are the circumstances, but I can change the way I feel about it. And I just decided I was going to just feel secure. I was going to have faith that things were going to improve, that the situation wouldn't continue like this. And I was amazed that I managed to go to sleep that night feeling hopeful, feeling blessed that I was at least able to pay wages, feeling hopeful that the situation was going to change. And what do you know, soon after that the situation did change and we did start to grow and be more comfortable financially. And like in that scenario where I was so grateful that at least we were able to pay our wages, I've learned that gratitude plays a massive role in our levels of happiness and in the quality of our lives. If you are able to be grateful for even a moment, but just jotting down 3 things that you're grateful for today, you create space in your life to allow peace and joy to come through. And now, if that's how you've defined happiness the way I have, well then you're happy. You've got gratitude, you've got peace, you've got joy. I would really encourage you to define what happiness means to you. What are those feelings that you would like to feel every day? Whatever the feelings are that you decide on, know that you can feel those things right now and therefore you can be happy right now. And then when you do go after the circumstances, an amazing relationship, the incredible family life, the incredible career, pristine levels of health, incredible adventures, all of those things that we so deserve to have in our lives. When you do go after those things, you're going to be going after them from a base of happiness. And when you do achieve them, they will be the icing on the cake. They will be what makes an already amazing life just incredible. So I really hope that this message helps you to reconsider what happiness is. If you are unhappy right now, stop for a moment and consider what it is that you're chasing. Stop trying to chase the circumstances. That's not where happiness lies. Happiness is within you right now. It's just waiting there for you to reach in and grab it. And I hope that you will grab it. I wish you love and support on your journey towards happiness. If you enjoyed this message, please consider subscribing to my channel. As I said, I post weekly videos on wellness and personal growth. So if this interests you, please join me on this journey.